Welcome to the Prescott Lab Podcast, not just theory, practical science for everyone. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott, a physician and integrative medicine researcher at the Ravenshade Institute for Human Health. And today, I want to speak directly to you, the man who's still standing tall in his 60s, 70s, even 80s, but quietly wondering, why does it feel like part of me has gone quiet? Well, maybe your erections aren't what they used to be. Maybe your drive feels like it's stalled out. Or maybe you've just stopped feeling like yourself and no one's noticed but you. Well, you're not broken, you're not done. And you're definitely not alone. In fact, what you're about to hear may surprise you, that fading sensation, that lack of energy or confidence. It's not just old age. It's a signal, a whisper from your nervous system. A cry for help from your blood vessels, your tissues, your testosterone. And guess what? You can answer that call naturally, safely, and powerfully. Now, before we dive deep into the blend of castor oil and baking soda, yes, really, I need to ask you for one small thing that makes a huge difference. Hit the like button, not just for me, but for you. Because every time a man taps that button on this channel, well, let's just say the gods of circulation tend to smile back. Better sleep, warmer hands, stronger mornings. I've seen it, I believe it. And if nothing else, may you be blessed with the health, energy, and confidence you deserve just for showing up here today. And if this message speaks to you, drop a comment. Let me know. Share your story or just say I'm here. You'd be surprised how many men out there are feeling the same way, and they just need to know they're not the only one. So now, let's begin. Because what I'm about to show you isn't just another tip or hack. It's a return, a reclaiming, a way to bring your body back online without shame, pills, or pressure. And it all starts with understanding this: your manhood isn't failing. It's asking for your attention. And the moment you listen, everything can begin to change. 1. Castor oil, the deep healer for men over 60. Now I know castor oil probably wasn't what you expected to hear today. You were thinking maybe ginseng, maybe testosterone, maybe some high-tech gadget your buddies saw on late-night TV. But castor oil, that thick golden stuff your grandmother used to keep in a glass bottle under the sink, exactly that. And believe me, I dismissed it too until the science, the stories, and the results came straight to my desk. Again and again. There's something rare about castor oil. Most oils sit on the skin. Castor oil, it travels through the fascia into the blood vessels and deep into the pelvic tissues that, for many men after 60, have grown quiet, stiff, and forgotten. I want to introduce you to someone. His name is Leonard, retired pilot, 70 years old, stoic, sharp, not the type to fall for natural remedies. But he came to me after trying everything: pills, patches, even injections. And one evening I said, "Leonard, this might sound odd, but I want you to try warm castor oil." No expectations, just attention. He smirked. "Doc, are you telling me to rub cooking oil on myself?" As I nodded. 2 weeks later, he walked into my office not with a miracle, but with a shift. He sat taller, his eyes were brighter, and he said one line I'll never forget: "I don't know what's happening, but I feel like my body finally remembered me." You see, castor oil doesn't force your body. It doesn't hijack your hormones or overstimulate your nerves. It reminds your tissues that they're still alive. It stimulates blood flow. It reduces inflammation. It warms areas that have been starved of circulation and sensation. It's gentle, it's powerful, it's ancient. And it works especially for men like you and me. But don't confuse simple with weak. This oil has ricinoleic acid, known for its anti-inflammatory power, and it penetrates deeper than most topical compounds we use in conventional medicine. When applied to the lower abdomen, inner thighs, or the crease where the legs meet the pelvis, castor oil begins a conversation with your body. Wake up, you still belong here, your job's not done. I've seen it in Leonard, I've seen it in dozens of other men. And frankly, I've seen it in myself. But a castor oil alone is only half the formula. Because what we've found is that when you combine castor oil with one simple ingredient already in your kitchen, the results compound. You soften what's stiff. You unblock what's tight. You amplify the circulation already starting to return. And no, it's not cayenne. It's not garlic. It's something most men only think about when they're brushing their teeth. And it's up next. 2. Baking soda, the tissue softener that restores sensation. If castor oil is the healer, then baking soda, that's the opener. It's the key that unlocks the door castor oil is gently knocking on. Now look, I know how it sounds. Baking soda for that? Trust me, I've heard it all. There was a man named Curtis, 66 years old, retired engineer, precise as a metronome. When I told him to mix a pinch of baking soda with castor oil and apply it near his pelvis, he raised an eyebrow and said, "Doc, I'm trying to feel like a man again, not clean my sink." But Curtis, logical, skeptical, methodical, agreed to give it 2 weeks. And the thing about baking soda is this: it's not just a kitchen ingredient. It's a pH balancer, a tissue softener, a circulation amplifier. It neutralizes the microscopic acid buildup that accumulates inside aging tissues, especially around the pelvis. Over the years, I've seen the same pattern repeat. When blood flow slows, when inflammation lingers, acid residues accumulate in soft tissue like mineral deposits in old pipes. And slowly, silently, things start to stiffen, not just physically, but emotionally. You stop feeling, you stop believing. That's where baking soda steps in, not with fire, but with balance. It dissolves that hardness. It helps break up what's been stuck. And most importantly, it restores sensation where you may have thought it was lost for good. Curtis came back to my office 10 days later. He didn't walk in, he strode. His face looked different. His energy was lighter. And what he said was simple: "Doc, something changed. I felt warm again." It wasn't magic, it was chemistry. A teaspoon of warm castor oil, a pinch of baking soda, gently applied to the right areas. And most importantly, used with presence, not as a chore, but as a message to the body: you're still here, you still work. The truth is, this isn't just about blood flow. It's about reminding your nervous system that it hasn't been abandoned. And once the tissues soften, once blood moves again, you start to feel the flickers: warmth, sensation, morning strength returning. That flicker is hope. And now that you know how powerful this blend can be, you're probably wondering, how exactly do I use it? Not just rub it on, but how to apply it the right way, the way that makes your body listen and respond. Well, that's exactly what I'll show you next. 3. The right way to use it. You've got the ingredients, you understand the why. Now it's time for the how, and this part matters more than most men realize. Because I've seen it too many times: a good remedy used the wrong way, wasted. This castor oil and baking soda blend isn't some miracle cream. It's not about slapping it on and hoping for the best. It's a ritual, a signal, a way of telling your body, "I'm paying attention now." So here's how to do it step by step, the way I teach every patient who walks into my clinic. First, find a quiet moment, not when you're rushing, not while the TV's blaring. Just you, your breath, and a few minutes to reconnect with the part of yourself you may have ignored. Take 1 tablespoon of organic castor oil, warm it gently, just enough so it feels comfortable to the skin. Add a pinch of baking soda, about half a teaspoon. Mix until smooth. Now apply the blend slowly over 3 key areas: your lower abdomen just below the navel, the crease of your groin where leg meets pelvis, and the inner thighs where circulation often slows with age. Use gentle circular motions, not pressure. You're not scrubbing the floor, you're sending a message. This area matters, you still matter. Some men like to place a warm towel over the area afterward, letting the heat drive the blend deeper. Others just lie still, breathe deeply, and listen to their body. Whatever works for you, do it with care, 3 times a week. Minimum. Consistency is the real healer here. Not one miracle moment, but small daily signals that tell your body it's time to come back online. And while you're doing this, I want to ask you something. Have you ever tried a natural remedy like this before? If yes, tell me in the comments. What worked, what didn't? And if this is your first time hearing about it, type "first time" so I know you're here, listening and curious. Because trust me, there are hundreds of men like you watching this thinking the same thing. Can this really work for me? And your comment might be the thing that gives someone else the courage to try. So don't be shy. Let's build something real here. A space where healing isn't a secret, it's a shared experience. And now that you know how to apply the blend, let me show you how to take it one level deeper with just your hands. No pills, no tools. Just 3 pressure points you've had all your life that most men never use. You're going to want to stick around for this. 4 pressure points that wake up the pelvis. There's a truth most men never hear. Your hands hold the switch to your own circulation, not symbolically. Literally. There are 3 pressure points on your body that, when touched with intention, can stimulate blood flow, calm the nervous system, and reawaken sensation in places that have gone quiet. I want to tell you about Marvin, 73, a retired machinist from Tennessee. He didn't come to me chasing performance. He said, "I just want to feel like I'm connected to my body again." So we didn't start with supplements, we started with his hands. The first point is on your wrist, palm up, find the soft hollow between 2 tendons. Press gently for about a minute. This tells your system it's safe. That healing can begin. The second is on your inner thigh. Place your fingers where your leg meets your torso and move upward about 4 fingers width. Apply slow, steady pressure. It encourages blood flow and clears away stagnation. The third is between your big toe and second toe. Not exactly glamorous, but incredibly powerful. In traditional medicine, this point restores energy, balances hormones, and enhances circulation from the ground up. Now picture this. You apply your blend, then take 5 minutes to press these points with care. No devices, no pills, just presence. A message from you to your body: you're still here and I'm listening. Marvin did this for 2 weeks. When he returned, his words were simple. "Doc, I feel like my body remembered me." This isn't mysticism, it's biology. When you make time for touch, for breath, for stillness, your nervous system responds. So tonight, when you apply the blend, don't just walk away. Stay with it. Find the points, press, breathe. And if you feel something shift, warmth, tingling, maybe even an emotion, don't brush it off. That's your body returning. And now that the door is open, let's make sure it stays that way. Because what you eat next can either support the healing or shut it down completely. Let's talk about that. 5. The foods that lock in the healing. You've just done the work. You applied the blend, pressed the points, took time to reconnect. And now your body is open, warm, receptive, ready. But what you eat in this window can either support that healing or quietly undo it. Most men don't realize this. They go back to what's easy: a sandwich, a soda, a processed snack. But once you've cleared the stream, why pour sludge back in? I remember Ellis, 71, retired firefighter. Dedicated, disciplined, but frustrated. He told me, "Doc, I feel something shift, but then it disappears." So I asked what he ate after his sessions. Ham sandwiches, potato chips, diet soda. That's when we made the connection. We didn't change everything. We just gave his body the right support when it needed it most. Start simple. A glass of beet juice for nitric oxide and blood vessel expansion. Half an avocado or a boiled egg for healthy fats and hormones. A bowl of steamed spinach with garlic and olive oil to soften the arteries. And a square of dark chocolate, 85% cacao or more, to feed the vessels and bring circulation back to life. It's not about superfoods. It's about timing. Healing doesn't just depend on what you eat, but when you eat it. Now let me ask you, and be honest. Have you ever thought about what you feed your body after healing work? Leave a comment. If something else worked for you, share it. If this is new, just right first time. There are men out there scrolling quietly, wondering if they should try. And maybe your comment gives them permission. If you're still listening now, I see you. That tells me something about you. You're not looking for a quick fix. You're looking to reclaim something, because healing isn't one act. It's a rhythm: the touch, the breath, the food, and above all, the belief. And that's where we're going next. Because even with all the right tools, if you've quietly given up on yourself, none of it will matter. So let's talk about that. 6. The mindset shift that reactivates manhood. After 30 years of listening to men behind closed doors, I've learned one thing for certain. The greatest damage rarely starts in the body. It starts in the story we tell ourselves. I've sat across from men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, men who built lives, carried burdens, endured storms, and still they line in and whisper, "Doc, I don't feel like a man anymore." And that breaks something deeper than blood flow. Because no blend, no food, no technique can restore what you've already declared lost. I think about Frank, 74. He had survived prostate surgery, followed every step of recovery. On paper, he was fine, but his voice was hollow, his eyes distant. "I feel like a ghost," he said. "We didn't start with treatment, we started with a sentence." Every night after his routine, I asked him to place a hand on his chest and say, "I still matter." My story is not over. It sounded strange to him, but he did it, not for science, for himself. And something began to return, not all at once but steadily. His gaze grew steadier, his presence stronger. One morning he looked at me and said, "I feel like I'm back." That's what this is about, not turning back time but returning to yourself. The part that still wants to live, love, and be seen. Your nervous system is always listening. Treat yourself like you're fading and you will. Treat yourself like you still matter and your body responds. So tonight, after everything, say it out loud, "I still matter." Say it like you mean it, not because you're weak, but because you've decided not to disappear. And if you've made it this far, I see you. Leave a comment, even just one word here. That one word might be what another man scrolling through the dark needs to hear. Because sometimes what saves us isn't a product or protocol. It's knowing we're not alone. Now let's bring all of this together. Let's talk about what happens next and how to turn this rhythm into a new beginning. 7. Conclusion. Your new beginning starts now. So here we are. You've made it through all 7 pieces: the truth, the tools, the mindset, the method. And if you're still listening, I want to say this clearly: you are not the average man. Because most will scroll past, most will laugh at the idea of castor oil or pressure points. Most will say, "Too late for me." But not you. You stayed, you listened. You let yourself wonder, what if healing is still possible? And that changes everything. We talked about how your manhood isn't failing, it's calling for help. How castor oil and baking soda can restore blood flow, soften hardened tissue, and wake up long silent nerves. How your hands hold power, how your food can lock in the healing, and how your belief, quiet, steady, private, can rewire everything. This isn't just a remedy, it's a rhythm, a return, and it begins tonight. So start small, warm the oil. Apply the blend, breathe into the pressure points, feed your body real food, and remind yourself again and again, "I still matter." If you felt something stir in you during this episode, even just a flicker of warmth or curiosity, let it grow. And before you go, I have one more thing to ask, gently but clearly. If you forgot to hit like, do it now. May it bring you good sleep, warm hands, and a spark that surprises you this week. If you haven't subscribed, I'd be honored to have you here for the next conversation. This space is for you. Leave a comment, even if it's just a question or a single word. Someone out there might be waiting to hear from a man just like you. And if this helped you even a little, share it with another man who needs to hear it. A brother, a friend, a father, a younger version of yourself. Because healing isn't meant to happen in isolation, you still have time, you still have strength. And your best years, they're not behind you, they're waiting for you to return to them. May you walk forward with steadier breath, stronger roots, and a body that remembers who you are. Until next time, be well and be kind to yourself.